While you might be familiar with the chemical giant Dupont, how much do you know about how its founding family lived? Hi everyone, Ken here. Welcome to This House. Today we are exploring Winterthur in Delaware, the family home of the Duponts. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode of This House. Henry Francis Dupont was born into wealth. His father was a senator who had purchased the estate named Winterthur from his family, who had grown their wealth through gunpowder and later chemical production. Though the home had started as a 12-room house, his father expanded it to include 30 rooms. Henry loved growing up here, so it was no surprise that when he graduated from Harvard with a degree in horticulture, he returned home. Henry yearned for a simple life, wanting to connect with nature. He identified himself as a farmer and began raising dairy cattle and manicuring the gardens of the 2,500-acre estate. Upon his father's death in 1926, Henry inherited a massive fortune as the only surviving Dupont son. Over the next 6 years, as the Great Depression saw many wealthy families fall, Henry Dupont saw great fortune. He expanded his family house from 30 rooms to 175 rooms. Altogether, the colossal mansion boasted 96,582 square feet, making it the 5th largest home in the United States. He did so with the intention of creating a museum to be enjoyed by future generations. With the market bottoming out, people were having massive estate sales to make ends meet, so Henry hit the road with his private chauffeur and took advantage of as many sales as he could. He would visit homes and purchase entire rooms, including wall panels and other architectural salvage, as well as family heirlooms. But there was something in particular he really sought after. He wanted to commemorate early Americana, specifically dating from the 1640s to the 1840s. Altogether, he purchased over 89,000 antiques on these trips. Returning home to Winterthur, he hired the nation's leading interior designer, Henry Davis Sleeper, to help him configure period-appropriate displays for each room. Walking inside, you would be greeted by a floating staircase, spiraling through an oculus towards the top floor. Meandering through the maze of rooms, you would come across many wonders, including the Chinese room which Sleeper had designed to be very similar to his own at Beauport, which we covered in our previous video. The wallpaper dated back to as early as 1775 and had been installed with the utmost care. Other rooms contained vintage wallpaper, such as Le Vieux d'Italie, which dated back to the mid-19th century. The living room was finished out with painted wood panels, offset by primary colors used in the upholstery and textiles. The dining room's wall panels were all painted white, with the only intricate carvings belonging to the fireplace's upper mantel. Tucked into the walls were display cases which were left open for guests to admire the porcelains within. The family dining room was more humble, with simple pine boards run vertically on the walls, with furniture reminiscent of that which would have been found on the American frontier a century earlier. Some rooms were more finished out, with pilasters flanking built-in cabinets and wainscoting running below fabric wallpaper, while other rooms were entirely unadorned, featuring white walls and painted millwork, with the only interest to the space being provided by the antiques which decorated them. But given the goal of creating a museum to commemorate Americana, called for great variety in the interior's design. While exploring the mansion, you could end up on a cobblestone street with colonial and Italianate storefronts flaunting window displays. You could then explore each store to see Henry's collection in a mock-up of their original environments. The mansion continued on and on, offering a variety of interesting and unique rooms to recreate the various aesthetics of the United States throughout its ages. Even the bedrooms, which he and his family occupied, were designed to be museum-ready, offering a glimpse into the early influences of the country's diverse cultures in the melting pot of American design. Perhaps no collection was as complete as Henry's library, where it was said that 87,000 books were stored, with an additional 500,000 manuscripts rivaling university archives across the world. In 1941, he opened the house to the public for the first time. He made announcements and limited the first tours to only a handful of guests who were required to send him a formal letter requesting a tour. 10 years later, in 1951, the family moved out of Winterthur and into a much smaller home. That same year, they fully opened Winterthur to the public as a museum and added a garden experience the following year to show off the landscaping, which Henry had personally been working on for decades. The museum brought Henry national attention, So much so that First Lady Jackie Kennedy brought Henry to the White House to oversee its renovations in the 1960s. Shortly after, in 1969, Henry passed away, but thankfully, his dream for a house museum lived on. Winterthur continues to be open to the public, with over 900 acres of grounds to explore. If you have ever visited, I would love to hear about your experience down below in the comments section. And while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode of This House. I would also like to say a huge thank you to our This House supporters whose names you can see on screen right now. Your continued support helps to make these videos possible. If you would like to show your support and see your name on the screen, consider joining our membership program today. I'll see you next time on This House.